Hey, sweeties. First, I want to say something that I often forget to say, which is to those of you who have chosen to subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. And I want you to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you who, watch my videos and read my posts. And it's amazing when you guys respond too. It's nice to know that I am making enough of a difference in someone's day that you want to say something about it, or to hit like or whatever. So thank you for that. Okay, so in the daily liturgy, which some people pray 3 times a day, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff actually, and some of it is excerpts from the Torah. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, from the book of Dvarim, that's Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verses 13 through 21. And I will read a translation of that for you in a minute. I heard it once said, it talks about do these things we're supposed to do, and the rain will fall in its proper season and stuff like that. And remember, this was written thousands of years ago, and even if there was an understanding, one could argue whether or not there was an understanding of how this worked, but they certainly didn't understand how it worked the way we do now, the way we understand there is a direct causal effect of, how we plant and harvest our food, and how we treat animals that are farmed and that are working, and that live on the planet with us, how we interact with all of that, and weather patterns and things like that, and relative abundance or scarcity. So I heard it said about these verses many decades ago, oh, this is good theology but bad meteorology. So it's good in terms of religion, but it makes no sense. Well, actually, it does make sense if you do the homework. In fact, I thought I was going to be able to I didn't realize how much time I was going to need to put this all together. So there is going to have to be a part 2. Because there is what now in modern times we call a crop rotation, but there is mention of that in the Torah. And there are different ways mentioned that we can care for animals, whether it's helping neighbors with animals that have, gotten hurt, and, helping out with that, having compassion for animals that we have working for us to help harvest our food, and how we should be treating them. And that deserves that deserves its own part 2. So I'll be getting to that part then. Did I read this out loud yet? No, I don't think I did. Okay, in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 11, verses 13 through 21. Okay. Oh, and I am not using my usual translation. I couldn't find it in my Chumash because I couldn't remember what verses they were, or even for sure which book it was in. So I'm using this guy right here. This is Sidur Sim Shalom, and and if you have one of these, it's on page 112. So here we go. If you will earnestly heed the mitzvot I give you this day, to love Adonai your God, and to serve God with all your heart and all your soul, then I will favor your land with rain at the proper season, in autumn and in spring, and you will have an ample harvest of grain, wine, and oil. I will assure abundance in the fields for your cattle. You will eat to contentment. Take care lest you be tempted to stray and to worship false gods. Remember that phrase. For then Adonai's wrath will be directed against you. God will close the heavens and hold back the rain. The earth will not yield its produce. You will soon disappear from the good land which Adonai is giving you. Therefore, impress these words of mine upon your heart. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children. Repeat them at home and away. night and day. I know enough of the Hebrew to actually know that it's when you lay down and when you get up. But night and day, it goes together. So I'll allow it. One of the few things that I actually know. Okay. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Then your days and the days of your children on the land that Adonai swore to give to your ancestors will endure as the days of the heavens over the earth. Okay. So, the phrase about, take care lest you be tempted to stray and worship false gods. Now, some people might assume, oh, well, that just means you're not allowed to be any other religion. You can't pray to something other than the Holy Spirit or whatever else you want to call it. And one could take it that way. I mean, I technically am obligated to not pray to anything else other than God, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think that is necessarily the main point, especially in modern times. A lot of people, okay, what does it mean to worship something? That like, that's your priority above all else. That is what you put as so important that is like, that is your religion, right? Okay, so, the thing that motivates us, the primary focus of our lives. Well, for example, one false god that some worship is their own status. And I'm not saying that one cannot pursue a career that is very visible, like in the performing arts or in politics or something like that, because you can pursue a career in that and still be mindful of how you go through your day, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're treating the people around you. Okay. So, and another thing that a lot of people are tempted to worship is convenience. And that can really be tricky because, we live at a time where it is easier to do a lot of things than it has ever been before. A lot of people have cars, depending on the part of the world you live. I know I live in my own little bubble on the west coast of the United States where, like, if you don't have a car here, it is really hard to get anywhere and get anything done. So, is it worshiping, the false god of convenience to drive a car? Is it worshiping the false god of convenience to, use the dishwasher, built into your kitchen? I don't think so. But, we have to be mindful as we go through our days what choices we're making and why. So, as long as using something that makes our life a little easier, as long as, that's not its own thing, like we're doing it the easy way just to be doing things the easy way. And if we're doing it so we have more time to focus on taking care of our health and taking care of our family, taking care of our pets, whatever. Well, pets are family too, I guess. I might have a slightly unpopular opinion about that, but that's my problem. Anyway, also, we need to be mindful to not worship the false god of money, which, that's a thing. And I'm someone who is continuing to experience poverty. I was very lucky when I was a kid growing up, and now I know the difference. But yeah, so as much as we need to prioritize, and yes, people need money to take care of very basic needs, as long as that's what the focus is, using it to take care of needs, and to make yourself happy too if you can, because why not? But not for its own end. So that pretty much wraps up where I was gonna go this time. And yeah. So that's it for now. And what is the date? It is February 13th right now. So we got some stuff coming up. Purim is in a couple of weeks, a little more than a couple of weeks. So that's an interesting holiday. So if all goes according to plan, then I will have something to say based on the Book of Esther, maybe. Because that's what the holiday of Purim is in remembrance of the events that may or may not have transpired in ancient Persia. So that's it for now, my sweeties. Thank you for spending a little time with me. And take care of yourself. And see you next time.